So we're back again, and we are getting a ton of questions involving houses. So we're going to talk about the two biggest questions that you've probably heard over the last few months with all of these interest rate changes. The first question we're going to address is, should I pay off my mortgage? And we know what it's like. It's emotional, right? You're getting to retirement. You don't want to have any of those ongoing mortgage payments. It's usually your largest expense for the last 30 years. And there's a sense of accomplishment of getting to that finish line and paying off your house. So the question is, should you do it from a financial perspective? So what we're going to do is break this down very simply, saying, should I pay off my house? And if we look at the averages across the United States, right now, on most, if you got in later in the, this great interest rate market to refinance your house or buy a house, you were probably in around 2.75% right here. You're probably paying 2.75% on your 30 or 10-year ARM. And when we think about this, we say, all right, that's a pretty good rate nowadays, compared to the 7% we're seeing now. But what does that mean for the retiree? And when we look and say, all right, well, let's look at banks, look at money markets. Let's look and see what people could put their money in and get a safe return. Well, when we look those up, on average, for a lot of people are seeing 5% guarantees. They're seeing 5% CDs. They're seeing 5% annuities. So in our mind, the way we have to think about this financially, which is hard, is to say, all right, what's the difference? Because what's the difference is the difference of the amount of money that could go in your pocket if you wait a little bit longer. So from a payoff perspective, we know instead of paying that extra $500 on your principal every month, or maybe taking that last $200,000 that you owe on your home and just cutting a check and paying it off from your IRA or maybe some of your investment accounts, what if you said, you know what, I'm paying 2.75% and I can get 5% if I just put that money in a CD. So I'm netting 2.25% to the good if I don't pay off my house. What does that mean in dollars? So we did the math for you. We took that $200,000 and put it in a CD that pays roughly 5%. And if you do the math and it pays out at a 2.25% interest rate, that means for you and your family over that course of time, you're going to make over $100,000. That's right. So you will make an extra $100,000 in interest by not paying your home off and using the higher interest rates we're seeing in CDs now versus essentially paying off that very strong or low interest rate on your current mortgage. Now, the second question that we come across and we're hearing a lot of recently is, in addition to should I pay off my house, a lot of people get to retirement and say, should I downsize? My kids are out of the house, my grandkids, they live out of state. I've got this huge home, I don't all the upkeep. And you know what? I want to save some dollars. I think we should downsize, get everything on one floor. And you know what? There's a lot of reasons to do it, not from a financial perspective, but what about the real dollars and cents? What does it mean for you and your family if you choose to downsize? So we did some math for you again. If you had a $300,000 mortgage, at that current time, you're sitting here at a 2.75% interest rate. You're probably roughly paying around $1,000 or $1,225 monthly mortgage payment. And that means over the course of this 30-year loan on your home, you're paying roughly a total amount of $141,000 of interest to the bank. So let's say you get to that retirement, you're at retirement, you're thinking about downsizing, you've paid on 20 years on your mortgage. So you have 10 years left at that 2.75. And the question really becomes, should I buy a condo? Should I buy that $200,000 condo now that I'm retired? And there's 10 years left on the loan, and what people don't realize is you owe roughly $121,000 left on that $300,000 note. But what people miss is that you've already paid $124,000 of the $141,000 of interest. Most people miss that the bank's amortization schedules front load all of their interest payments. So by the time you get towards the tail end of most loans, you've already tackled most of the interest burden, and now you're just really chipping away at the principal. And that's how these mortgage loans are set up. And why that is significant is that if you're only 10 years out, you've only got $16,000 of interest left to pay. But if you decide to downsize for financial reasons and turn around and buy that $200,000 condo on, let's say, a 15% fixed, that's roughly 7.2% of the markets we're seeing now. Well, shoot, out of the gate, you've got a smaller house that has a larger monthly payment. You're going to start paying $1,820 instead of that $1,225 you had on your original note. And not only that, you had $16,000 of interest left to pay on your previous $300,000 note. Well, guess what? If you start over again on a 15-year note, half the size, you're going to end up paying $127,000 of interest when you downsize. And the reason we share this for you is not to tell you not to downsize. There's plenty of reasons to downsize. But if you're doing it for a financial gain, make sure you do the math first. Look at the rates, look at where you're at, do your own calculations, or if you need some help, let us know. But really keep that in mind when you're making these decisions about your home, that they have significant financial impact. That paying off your house that you think saving you money could be costing you $100,000. That getting a smaller house that you think could be saving you dollars could actually make your monthly payments go up. And your interest rates obviously going from $16,000 left of interest payments to $127,000. So keep that in mind and keep those questions coming. Thank you from Golden Reserve.